So welcome to Jonah 3:5. We've kind of been doing a Hiph'il thing. Previous video was on the Hiph'il perfect paradigm. Probably the next video will be the Hiph'il imperfect paradigm. And as a stop along the way, we have Jonah 3:5 that has a Hiph'il converted imperfect, or preterite really, the H stem. So see if you can pronounce this line. Here's how I'd pronounce it. Vaya'aminu anshe Nineveh Belohim Vayikra'u Zom. As far as the pronunciation is concerned, I don't have the accents here, but the accent is on the me, believe it or not, which is a little strange to me, but that's the way it's marked in the Hebrew text. Because this is a short syllable, I think this is a silent schwa. This syllable's closed. So on she, ni, ne, ve. This is after a long vowel, so this is a vocal schwa here. Belohim, by Elohim, or something like that. Vayikra'u, when you have two shavas next to each other, the first one is a silent schwa, the syllable's closed, and the second one is a vocal schwa. And then zom is the word for a fast. You know, some of you would like to go on a fast from Zoom. Anyway, zom, fast. All right, so this is, and they believed. Who believed? The men, Anoshe Nineveh, the men of Nineveh. Sariot is a masculine plural construct, right? Anoshim is we saw Anoshim in a previous verse, men. Anshe is men of Nineveh. They believed in God, Belohim. Ba is the preposition in. So they believed in God. Vayikra'u, and they called a fast. They called a zom meeting. Okay, so since I'm at the end here, vav patak doubling is converted imperfect, which is really a preterite. It's a past tense. Yod with the sharuk is a third masculine plural, and they called. Kara is to call. Okay, this is the call or G stem, nothing special about it. So that brings us to this first one, vaya'aminu. So the Hirik Yod is a telltale sign of the H or Hiph'il stem, in the third person at least. So vav patak doubling is converted imperfect, or really more the preterite. And then the patak, if you remember, you probably don't remember because we only really said it once in one video. But a patak under the performative is another telltale sign of the Hiph'il imperfect, the patak. So this patak is a hint. Now, the aleph, gutturals like A-class vowels. So you might have been thinking, well, that A is just peer pressure. Or you might not have been thinking that. Probably you weren't. But a patak under the performative is a indication of the Hiph'il with the Hirik Yod. Let's call it a deal. Yod and sharuk, again, third masculine plural. The subject is a they, namely the men of Nineveh. Well, let's come back to this in a second on the second page. I've already translated it, so let's put it up there, shall we? So, and the men of Nineveh believed in Yahweh, in God, and they called a fast. What else did they do? See if you can pronounce this. Vayilbashu sakim migadolam va'ad katonam. Okay, so vav patak doubling here is converted imperfect. It's a preterite. This is not a doubling dagesh because you have two shavas, right? So this is a silent schwa. The syllable's closed, which means that this is a hardening dagesh, a light dagesh lene. So it's just beginning this syllable. Yod sharuk is third masculine plural. So and they clothed sakim, masculine plural, absolute ending, im, right? And what do they put? Sackcloth. They put on sackcloth. The word sack apparently is a loan word from Hebrew, it would seem to me. So they put on sacks. Not Saks Fifth Avenue, but sacks of some kind. And who did it? From their great and as far as their small. So the mem at the end is a possessive, we haven't seen a lot of this, but is the possessive third masculine plural. Remember, M is for male. Their, and it's a group of guys. The ladies probably did it too. Maybe the children, who knows? But, it's a male-biased language. So their, And then we have mim, Hiph'il doubling. That's min, the preposition from. And nun assimilates when no vowel separates. And so the nun has been sucked into the gimel here. So from their great, gadol, and as far as their small, katon. And why the nun doubles is a mystery to me. I'm not sure. Anybody knows. There's probably an explanation somewhere in there in the history of Hebrew studies. Or at least somebody suggested it. But I don't know. It's called a nun energicum. Energized nun. I don't know. Nun paragogicum. I'm not even sure. It's a nun on steroids. That's for sure. And it's doubled. So from their great and as far as their small. So just one more thing and we're done with this verse. I've already told you it. It's the very first word, vaya'aminu. So the sharuk and the yod, they are basically telling you it. The sharuk's telling you it's plural, and the yod is telling you it's third masculine plural. The patak is telling you it's also a Hiph'il or H stem. The yod is telling you it's imperfect. The Hirak Yod is telling you it's H or Hiph'il. And then the word is aman, which means something like to be true or something like this. It is converted, so it's a preterite. So the H tends to be causative, so they cause to be true. Again, you don't want to make too much of that sort of thing, although it makes good preaching stories. But what does they cause to be true? Well, I just looked it up in the dictionary, and the Hiph'il of aman means they believed. And you believe in Elohim. They believed in God. So anyway, what you should take away from this one is that a patak under the performative and a Hirak Yod after the second consonant, probably a Hiph'il stem in the imperfect tense. So next video, I believe, we will probably summarize the paradigm of the Hiph'il or H imperfect.